Hi, I'm happy to have you here for another video. Today we are going to be talking about Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. And this book, oh my God, I loved it. It's about a girl with a special force whose biggest dream is to become a spaceship fight pilot and fight against the aliens, against all odds, because she has a lot to prove. Let's go. I start with the bullet points. Skyward, Claim the Stars by Brandon Sanderson is the first volume of a science fiction trilogy for readers 12 plus. The book was published in November 2018 by De La Corte Press. It has 528 pages and the reading time is approximately 8 hours. A similar book is Imagine Me by Tahereh Mafi. Next, I would like to talk about the author, and it will take probably a bit longer as usual because first, he has written so many books, and second, it will not be the last book I'll read by him. Brandon Sanderson is a US author. He was born 1975 in Lincoln, Nebraska. He enjoyed reading as a child, but the books that were suggested to him didn't interest him that much. That's why he stopped reading for a while. That was until he read Dragonsbane by Barbara Hambly. And he loved this book so much that he became an avid reader again, mainly of epic fantasy. It's clear. He even tried writing some himself, but they were terrible, he says. I don't think so. He studied biochemistry at the BIU, then he served as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Seoul, and there he realized that his true passion was writing. And that's why he returned to the BIU and studied English, much to the disappointment of his mother, who hoped he'd become a doctor one day. But now he's a world-famous author. That's not so bad either. And to this day, he teaches creative writing at the BIU. That's the same class he took, just because he enjoys helping aspiring writers. And that shows the kind of person he is. I think that's impressive. Today he lives with his family as a freelance writer and editor in Provo, Utah. Early in his career, Brandon wrote 7 novels, all of which were rejected by publicists. Can you imagine? They must be like, because they let go Brandon Sanderson. And he did not give up just because of rejection, because he loved to write and stayed an avid writer. And his persistence was rewarded in 2003 when he received an offer from Tor Books for his book Elantris. And this book was released in 2005 and became an instant bestseller. It was followed by the Mistborn trilogy, The Alloy of Law, Warbreaker, The Way of Kings, and The Way of Kings is just the first volume of a 10-volume series called the Stormlight Archive. Brandon also completed Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series after Jordan's untimely death. With the volumes Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, he also ventured into the children's book market. In addition, Brandon's novella Infinity Blade Awakening was an ebook bestseller for Epic Games on their acclaimed Infinity Blade iOS video game series. Brandon has won multiple awards. He was #1 New York Times best-selling author of the Mistborn trilogy, of the Reckoners series, of the Stormlight Archive, of which Oathbringer, the 3rd book, was the best-selling book of all times on Audible, in any case until now. He also received the David Gemmell Legend Award for The Way of Kings, twice won the Romantic Times Reviewers' Choice Award for Best Epic Fantasy, and for his novella The Emperor's Soul he won the Hugo Award, just to name a few. DMG Entertainment acquired the rights to his Cosmere universe of fantasy novels, and Fox bought the Reckoners trilogy. Wow, that was a lot, but he writes so many books, and I'm sure in a few months you can add some more books. That's why here I stop with Brandon Sanderson. I could go on, and let's go to the synopsis of Skyward. This story is about young Spensa, who, against all odds, toasts and fights to become a fighter pilot in the spaceship troop and fight against the aliens, the Krell. Since childhood, she has dreamed to defend her planet. The planet is called Detritus, and the rest of humanity stranded there against the never-ending Krell attacks, just like her father once did, whom she admires above all else. But this goal is anything but easy to reach for her, because except of Cop, and this is her instructor, no one wants to see her behind a spaceship wheel, especially not Ironsides. She is the head, the chief of the spaceship troop. And why is that? It's because her father is considered a coward who escaped during the last big space battle against the Krell. And being the daughter of a coward is a huge stigma among the humans on Detritus, who call themselves the Steadfast Ones. And because Spensa has been made to feel that all her life, she developed a strong and hot-headed character. Spensa is determined to prove herself and that her father wasn't a coward. And with the help of Cobb, a high-ranking former fighter pilot and coincidentally her father's wingman, she gets her way into the pilot school, the DDF, where Cobb is an instructor. And Spensa thinks she has reached the goal of her dreams because now she has a cadet's pin in a fighter unit, and her unit is called Skywards. And it's clear from the beginning that out of the 10 cadets, only 1, maybe 2 reach the status as a fighter pilot at the end of the training. So the competition is on. Even her Skyward squad mates are skeptical of Spensa at the beginning, but over time, however, the teenagers pull together and even become friends. Since Admiral Ironsides, the leader of the spaceship troopers, makes the training especially hard for Spensa and hopes that Spensa will give up, she's not allowed to stay on the training ground together with her squad team members and has to sleep outside of the training ground. Therefore, she spends the night in a nearby cave, and in this cave she finds an old battleship. This is her secret, which she only shares with Rick, her friend, and together with Rick they bring this old battleship into shape. It's called M-Bot and it seems to have a soul. And this ship, this M-Bot, plays a bigger role later in the story, but I don't want to tell you more about it. That's why we leave it to this and go to my impression. I think Skyward is a fantastic start into this science fiction trilogy for young adults. I like the story of Spensa, a girl who finds a spaceship and tries to realize her dream to become a fighter pilot, and does this against all odds, overcomes the obstacles that are put in her way and never bends, never breaks. And she acts exactly like a rebellious and stubborn teenager acts, and you understand why she acts the way she does. The secondary characters were also all very interesting. I could imagine them all very well. They behave genuinely and are portrayed in a multi-layered way so that the bad guys are not just bad, but portrayed in such a way that you understand them, you understand the motives why they act the way they do. Like, for example, Ironsides, you even agree with her why she does not want to see Spensa in a spaceship battleship. Not necessarily how she does it, you understand, but why she does it. And I like books with antagonists that are not only one-dimensionally bad, it makes them more real, because we all have multiple sides. We are not just bad or just good. Every one of us has many facets, and I like this about Skyward, these multi-layered characters. And then the spaceship M-Bot, who tries to act like a human being and does it so hilariously, making me laugh out loud so many times. Or the fluting, voice mimicking slug thing called Doom Slug, glorious. It's written with so much humor and wit, like a universe of fantasy. I also like the friendship between Spensa and her Skyward's team members. The only pity here was, as it was implied at the beginning of the combat training, that out of 10 cadets only 1 or 2 make it to the final. You always wondered who's next to drop out. And they dropped out in so many ways. And Brandon Sanderson, he has no mercy. The interactions and dialogue also all came completely natural. Never did I feel like anything was contrived. It flowed easily. I like Brandon Sanderson's writing style, although sometimes it's a bit sprawling and very detailed. Especially the combat situations were described very precisely with a lot of technical terms. If you like that, you get your money's worth, but for me it was confusing to imagine the different weapons, the engines and the combat maneuvers. But I thought, okay, combat, because these combat scenes gave the story action and pace. It's also optimal in terms of length. Nowhere did I feel like scenes weren't necessary. But it also did a good job of backstory, how people got to the point where they stranded on detritus, which means rubble, and now live in caves there on this planet. There are a lot of good twists and turns and surprises, and there's some magic too. And I love that. Maybe the only thing that was not properly explained is this defect Spensa and her father share, the background of it and how it exactly works. But I guess it will be revealed in one of the following volumes. I hope so. But all in all, I think it's entertaining, it's fresh, it's surprising. I practically read through the book in one gush. This to my impression. Let's go to the conclusion. Skyward is a action-packed sci-fi novel, original and well done in every way. It's a cool story with great characters that can be read across generations and isn't gender specific. It's a story for everyone and anyone who wants to claim the stars. It's a super prelude that I can only recommend. And with the cliffhanger ending, I'm looking forward to reading volume 2 and 3 and then introducing them here on this channel. So keep an eye out. Until next time, and don't forget, take care. Bye.